Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really powerful new tool that was designed for one critical purpose: emergency communications in the Philippines. We are taking a look at the paired BPQ32 Webmail. So I want you to just imagine this for a second. A massive typhoon has just rolled through. The power is completely out, cell towers are down, and there's no internet. In that kind of chaos, what's the one thing you want to do? Connect. You want to tell your family you're okay, or maybe you need to call for help. But how do you actually do that when all of our modern tech has failed? Well, that is the exact problem this software was built to solve. For a long time now, emergency communications have relied on some pretty powerful systems, but they're often really complex, and they're usually run by licensed ham radio operators. These older systems, they just weren't built for the world we live in now, where everyone has a smartphone. They could be clunky, and for someone who's not an expert, they were really hard to use. Okay, so let's get into the solution. The Philippine Amateur Radio Emergency Data Network, or PAREDN for short, they developed this modern, mobile-friendly answer to bridge that gap. It's basically a web-based interface that gives a complete facelift to a critical piece of software used for packet radio. So what is this thing exactly? Well, at its core, it's a web-based control panel that sits right on top of the existing BPQ32 packet radio software. Think of it like this. You have a powerful industrial engine, and this just puts a sleek, super intuitive dashboard on it. It lets people interact with this really robust radio network using something they already know how to use, a web browser on their phone. Now, here's what's so smart about the technical side of this. The most important thing to get is that it's a totally non-invasive upgrade. See, it runs as a separate thing called a proxy, which just means you don't have to rip out or change the core BPQ32 software that people have trusted for years. It just works right alongside it. And anyone on the local network can access it, or you can even get in securely over a VPN. It's just incredibly flexible. And this is where the design gets really, really brilliant. The system gets that during a disaster, you have two totally different kinds of users who need completely different things, and it manages to serve both of them perfectly. I want you to think of it like a building that has two different doors. The first door is for the public, civilians, people who have been displaced. That's the welfare console. It is dead simple. You log in, you write your "I'm safe" message, and you read your replies. That's it. No technical stuff needed. But then there's the second door. That's for the trained volunteers who are running the show. That leads to the operator console. And that's mission control, with all the advanced tools they need to manage all the network traffic and keep things running smoothly. All right, so let's walk through that second door and check out the operator console. This is where the magic happens, giving the pros the serious features they need to coordinate a big, large-scale emergency response. So the interface is super clean and efficient. You've got separate tabs for your personal messages and for the network-wide bulletins. All the usual email functions are right there, plus a really powerful search. But check out the autosave for drafts, and especially that byte counter. On a low-bandwidth radio network, every single byte counts. And this little tool helps the operators keep their messages small and fast. It's a huge deal. Now this is an absolute game changer for any kind of formal reporting. WinLink templates are basically standardized digital forms for everything from situation reports to resource requests. And this system makes using them unbelievably easy. You just click to find the form you need, fill it out in a clean little pop-up window, and hit apply. And bam, the system formats everything perfectly for you. And this right here really shows you how tailored this system is. It comes preloaded with the specific templates that are actually used for emergency response in the Philippines, all based on something called the Incident Command System, or ICS. This means an operator out in the field has the exact digital paperwork they need right at their fingertips, from a simple welfare message to an official resource request. Beyond all the cool software features, the design itself shows a really deep understanding of what it's like to operate in a real-world emergency. Conditions are, let's face it, almost never ideal. These color themes, they are not just for looks. They're absolutely critical usability tools. Imagine you're working in a dimly lit command post at 3 in the morning. You switch to the dark theme. Trying to read a screen in the bright direct sunlight, high contrast mode has got you covered. And the red night theme is just genius. It helps preserve an operator's night vision, which is a tiny detail that is so important for operations after dark. And that same thoughtful thinking carries over to this. Simple font scaling. With just one click, an operator can adjust the text size. This makes it so much easier to read on any device,
whether it's a tiny phone screen or a huge monitor in a command center. It's all about reducing eye strain during a long, stressful shift.
Okay, now this part is absolutely crucial. Think about how you would deploy this. You probably don't have an internet connection. No problem. It's a single installer file. You just run it, answer a couple of super simple questions, and that is it. The whole thing is installed, configured, and it's set to automatically start every single time the computer boots up. It is built to be deployed when nothing else is working. So when you put all of these pieces together, you've got the super user-friendly design, the two-console approach, that intense focus on real-world field conditions. You really start to get a picture of what the future of emergency communications could look like.
You know, the developers themselves really captured the whole mission perfectly with this quote. It's about empowering everyone involved in a crisis. It gives a simple, vital tool to civilians when they need it most, while at the same time giving the professional operators a modern, powerful platform to manage the entire network. And that really leaves us with a final thought. This whole project shows how modern web technology can be used to solve these long-standing, difficult problems in disaster preparedness. By making these robust communication networks accessible to everybody, tools like this don't just send messages, they build resilience from the ground up. So it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is this the new standard we should all be aiming for?